Welcome back, Maya. Good to see you, Peggy.
Thanks for having us.
So during the break, you were telling me about this Child's Initiative. This is where you get senior citizens and you pair them up with children, and it's kind of a very nice blending where both parties really get something out of it.
That's right. It's a big part of age-friendly, even municipality plans, but it's also a nonprofit that we funded from the San Diego Foundation. And what they did is they connected older adults with third graders who were having trouble reading.
Right.
And I actually went and visited and did it myself, and it was
the sweetest thing.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, these little third graders that are trying to read, and then you have older adults like just reading with them. Read like you would a grandkid or something, and it was spectacular. The third graders reading levels spiked and did great.
Sure.
And the older adults who were there, because we do all sorts of data and making sure that these programs are actually delivering, they increased their saying there was a great feeling of purpose in life and increase their social interaction and just feeling like you're really doing something.
Grandparents just have a way, don't they? I mean, they're soft-spoken and they're patient and they're understanding, and they've been through so much in life that they can really share that with the child.
And a lot of people who are older adults, they retired by choice. They might be former CEOs. They might be people who never had an opportunity to really give back to third graders because they were too high-powered, busy doing something.
Yeah. Maya, what are some of the challenges that you see as you move forward and you're trying to get these municipalities on board so that they can be more senior friendly?
Well, of course, the first step that we need to do is get cities to make the commitment. So first, a city needs to decide to become an age-friendly community, and we're hoping more and more cities in the county will do that. But then from there, as Peggy was saying, it's an intensive process. So the cities have to be really willing and ready to jump in a multi-year planning process, and then be willing to make commitments that they'll actually implement to create these communities where people can age in place.
They've got to create an action plan, right?
Exactly.
Where they've decided, yes, we're going to do a certain number of things, and then they have to really move forward and do them. Right,
and action is important there.
That's right. And the action plan actually is vetted by the World Health Organization and AARP. It's not like you just get to say, oh, I'm going to change a few streetlights.
What does
We're
that
all
mean?
Good.
They look at the action plan.
That's right. And they approve it.
Okay.
So that happens in about 2 years after they initiate the process. So this isn't done in a silo. And as you can see from Circulate's report, there's other cities that have done that. So a lot of cities look at, or at least try to follow, hey, what worked in your city that's about the same size, like in Denver, for instance.
Why would a city decide not to get on board with this? Would it be cost, maybe? Or would it be that maybe they feel like they've done enough already? Or they're just not interested?
No reason in my book.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of one.
So, yeah, this is very bipartisan, which is unusual these days. Everybody either is a senior, going to be a senior, has a senior in their family. Like, somewhere along the line, this is going to catch up with you. So everyone is really on board with this, and the data, as Maya showed you, the data is incredible. In San Diego alone, 1 million people just over the age of 60. That's in 11 years. 1 million people over the age of 60. So it's something that I think people are like, yeah, we need to prepare for this. But not in a negative way. We don't use words like silver tsunami or things like that. That's a negative connotation that these older adults don't have something to give back, aren't contributing to the economy, because essentially you're going to need them to contribute to the economy, because there's going to be less people under the age of 18 and more people over the age of 65. So everybody better start learning how to make this inclusive and work for them.
Maya, I know you said that 1/3 of the homeless are seniors, and boy, that really pulls at your heartstrings to think that somebody who is a senior citizen out there sleeping on the streets. Is there something that municipalities can maybe focus a little bit more on them rather than just making, sure some of those other nice things are available?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's really important for cities to make sure that they're focusing on seniors' needs for housing. I mean, they deserve to be able to live independently and safely off the streets. So there's needs for wraparound services and everything else. But I did want to quickly point out, too, that when you design cities for people, for older adults, they're better designed for everyone else. There's a concept of 8 If you design your city for people, for children 8 years old and for 80-year-old people, that it's great for everyone else age in between.
Sure. It seems like transportation, you know, we do so many stories on public transportation, and billions of dollars are spent on trolleys and trains and buses, and somebody I think said about 97% of us use our cars to get to work and get where we're going, just because it's so difficult. It just takes, it could take 2 hours for me to get to work if I tried to do it on a couple of buses, I think, and a lot of people just don't want to have that time commitment. What can be done to make the public transportation better, do you think? It's the $64,000 question, right?
That's your expertise, right?
That's a big question. I mean, of course, we need to just increase our transit options and make it so that it's more time competitive, so that people who have a choice like you would choose to take transit, but also so that people who can't drive anymore, older adults, have a convenient and comfortable place to get around with dignity. But then the other side of that is land use, how we choose to build our housing. And so, for example, in the county's age-friendly communities plan, they specifically talked about zoning neighborhoods to be mixed use, so with supportive services, so that seniors could live there and be able to walk to basic necessities. And so it takes both the land use planning and the transit planning to make a place age friendly.
And
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just to build off of that. So what that means is you could have a CVS or a prescription, like a little dispenser in a market that's right at the end of the street, like a little small market. Kensington has one of those, a little corner market that has your basics, things like that. Yeah. The city of San Diego is actually doing quite well when it's coming to the accessory dwelling units. Progressive in thinking about, can we add on these, they used to call them granny flats, we don't prefer that name, but these accessory dwelling units, or making it more accessible for people to redo their houses so they can stay where they are.
That sounds great. Well, thanks for all the hard work you're doing. It sounds like it's really going well, and you're trying to get more and more cities and municipalities on board. I hope
absolutely
all the success. Peggy Pico, Maya Rosas, thanks for coming on the program, sharing all of your insight. Go Seniors.
Thanks for having us.
That's going to do it for this edition.